Developing an understanding of post-tonal music, including 12-tone or serial music, is going to require us to understand a variety of terms that I've only really presented briefly in my tutorials. If we're talking about composers like Schoenberg, Berg, Webern, Stravinsky, Elliott Carter, Milton Babbit, Luigi Dallapiccola, Lou Harrison, or John Cage, we're really going to need to learn a completely new vocabulary of terms. You're going to hear odd terms like hexachordal combinatoriality, invariant trichords, rotational arrays, and many other unusual terms that you've never heard in all your years of study. Maybe. But we're going to just begin talking about intervals and how it relates to these post-tonal concepts. An interval is the distance counted in semitones or half steps from one note to the next. The traditional interval names are really based on tonal music and don't necessarily apply and are cumbersome when talking about post-tonal music or 12-tone music, as we're going to eventually get to. Our traditional interval names, for example, 0 half steps is the unison. A minor second is 1 half step. A major second or diminished third is 2 half steps. Minor third or augmented second is 3 half steps. Major third or diminished fourth are 4 half steps. An augmented third or perfect fourth are 5 half steps. The augmented fourth or diminished fifth, also known as a tritone, is 6 half steps, dividing the octave. Perfect fifth is also called a diminished sixth, which is 7 half steps. Augmented fifth or minor sixth is 8. The major sixth or diminished seventh is 9th. The augmented sixth or minor seventh are 10 half steps. And the major seventh is 11 half steps. The octave, as we know, are 12 half steps. When we go beyond the octave, the intervals we typically refer to, the minor 9, major 9, minor 10th, and major 10th, are compound intervals. The minor 9 is 13 half steps, or it's a minor second plus 12. That's where you get the 13. We've taken the integer of 1 and added 12 to it, and we get 13 half steps. The major 9, which is a compound major second, is 14 half steps. Or you take the major second here, which is a 2, add 12 to it, and you get 14. Minor 10th is 15 half steps, or a compound minor third. The major 10th is 16 half steps, or a compound major third. Next, we have pitch intervals. Unordered pitch intervals. The interval direction can be ascending or descending, ignoring the contour of the line and concentrating only on the spaces between pitches. Ordered pitch intervals focus on the actual direction of the interval, using a plus sign if it's ascending, using a minus sign if it's descending. Let me show you. Okay, we have our ordered and unordered pitch intervals here. On the top are the ordered pitch intervals, which gives you the exact description whether the interval is ascending or descending and how many semitones there are. So from E to E flat is -1. From E flat to F sharp is +3. If you think about it, E flat to E to F sharp, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. That's our +3. That's where you get that interval. From F sharp down to C sharp is a perfect fourth. We know the fourth is 5 semitones, so it's -5. Here is a tritone, that's 6 semitones, so it's -6. Descending, then we have an ascending minor 9, which is +13, and then we have a descending from A flat down to C is a descending minor 6th, which is a -8. This is the unordered pitch intervals. It's just the generic number of half steps, not telling you whether it's ascending or descending. This pitch class clock will help us when calculating ordered pitch class intervals. For example, moving in a clockwise direction is ascending. Moving in a counterclockwise direction is descending. So let's say we're going from the note C to E flat. Moving this direction, it would be a +3. If we're moving counterclockwise in a descending direction, it would be -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So C to E flat would be -9. notice that they add up to 12. Now, if we reverse the intervals, let's say we went from E flat to C, okay, and you're moving in a clockwise direction or ascending, it's going to be a +9. And if you're going from E flat to C descending, okay, so from here to here, it's going to be -3. The integers will always add up to 12. Next we have interval class. Pitch class intervals larger than a 6 are considered equivalent. Well, what does that mean? Pairs of intervals that are inversions, that's what I'm talking about here. For example, a minor third inverted is a major sixth. A major seventh inverted is a minor second. Okay, those are considered equivalent intervals. The unison and octave are the same notes, so 0 and 12. That's the number of half steps. So let's say you have the note C, the octave above, it's 12 half steps. They're the same note, they have the same sonic characteristic. The minor second and major seventh are the same, so 1 and 11 are equivalents. Major second, minor seventh, okay, that's your third interval class. Then your fourth is the 3 and 9, right? 3 half steps and 9 half steps are intervallically equivalent. So the minor third and major sixth. Then we have the major third and minor sixth. That's the fifth interval class. Then the perfect fourth and perfect fifth, 5 and 7, okay? That's the sixth. And the seventh interval class is 6 and 6, okay? That's the augmented fourth, diminished fifth. They are the same pitch. Okay, let's take interval class 3, okay? The major second and its equivalent interval, the minor seventh, okay? Here it is illustrated. You have C to D, which is a major second ascending, which is 2 half steps, and descending, C down to D, is 10 half steps descending. That's what I mean by interval inversions. Okay, so what have we learned? There are 4 ways to describe an interval when we're talking about things like interval class and pitch class. If I have the notes B up to G flat, the ordered pitch interval is +19 because that shows you the direction. Plus means it's going upwards, ascending, okay? That describes the size and the direction of the interval. That's the number of semitones, 19 semitones between B and G flat. The unordered pitch interval is just a general way of describing it, and you just say 19. That doesn't tell you what the direction is. It just gives you a general classification of it. Next we have the ordered pitch class interval, which is 7, okay, because it's ascending. We are not including the octave. We're always transposing it down so it's within an octave. So if you subtract 12 from 19, you get 7. And I said or -5 because that's the inversion of it, okay? If you were to go from here down to here, okay? And then you have your unordered pitch class interval, which is 5. That refers to what we just previously talked about, that these interval equivalents, that there are only 7 different interval classes. And this interval class, unordered pitch class, would be 5. That's the most basic way to express that interval. This sounds really complex, but these are the terms that you need to know and that we'll need to understand when we begin talking about Schoenberg and Webern and Berg and Stravinsky, when you're getting into 12-tone music and talking about pitch sets. So this is why I'm going over this. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. Also, if you're interested in the Beato book, you can find it at www.rickbeato.com in my store. Also, check out the Beato Academy on my website to see what courses I have available. Thanks for watching. I'm Rick Beato.